Hey guys, welcome to Dave Barron Show. Not guys, one guy or one girl's watching right now. So let's just talk. This is my post for today, and here's what we're going to talk about today, or what I'm going to talk about today to myself, because I do this show to blow off steam on my own, and I don't really give a fuck who listens to me or watches, because I realize that I am an irritating pain in the ass, and that's exactly the way I tend to remain. Do you remember these words from our president? And notice that I capitalized our president, because after the 20th, 9 days from now, our president is still going to be Donald J. Trump. He is going to still be my president, our president, no matter whoever the prick elect, that's what I call him, prick elect ridiculous Biden. Prick elect reject Biden. That's what I call him. So do you remember President Trump saying this? They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in their way. Now, we right now, we no longer have or will have President Donald J. Trump protecting us. Soon, our First and Second Amendments will no longer be protecting us either. Against us are the media, mainstream and social. We're seeing that now. We're going to talk about that tonight. The Democrat Party, every single one of them is against us. Our Republican Party, nearly every single one of them is against us or inactive in doing nothing. Pretty much sitting on their asses, doing absolutely nothing, as has been typical for an amount of decades. They're just has-beens, do nothing, ridiculous nobodies who should not be in office because they are not there representing us, the people. They are not representing us. Printed media is against us. People we used to call friends, who have either surrendered or joined against us. Make no mistake, this is a war, and we cannot step down from this war. Let me bring myself up here so you can see me. By the way, today I'm wearing my shirt, which has a bunch of drinks on it. And the reason I have this is because I figure if Nancy Pelosi is watching me to try to get me banned tonight, she can look at my shirt, figure out what drink she wants to get stoned on tonight, and enjoy a cocktail, because she's not getting any cock. She might as well have a cocktail. And also, you got to think about this too. You got to think about this. I don't even know what her marital status is, but can you imagine fucking anything like that? Can you imagine? I don't even think Hunter Biden would fuck that. Of course, she's 80, so that's 70 years older than Hunter Biden usually goes after anyway. So I can't understand. I can't understand this situation. So you know what's going on now? We've got all this banning of Facebook, Twitter, of conservatives. You know what? You got to think of it this way. You got to think of it from the perspective of who they are. They are privately owned companies that can shut anyone down that they choose to. It's just like a restaurant. If you own a restaurant, you have the right to not serve anyone. They used to put the sign on the wall. We have the right to refuse service to anyone. But on the other hand, when you are refused service, you do have the right then to figure out why you were refused service, and if you feel like it, you can bring a lawsuit to their attention because you were unjustly not served. You were refused service. If you think of it would you remember this article? And I brought this up when it took place. There was a woman, went into a restaurant. You probably don't remember this because it's been probably about a year ago. She went into a restaurant. I'm assuming she was a black woman. I forget the story. I don't remember the article. But the waitress would not serve her because she was black. She did not want to serve that particular person. And that person was sort of vocal enough that the person sitting at the table realized that. And what happened is that waitress that didn't want to serve her went to the manager, and she said, "Can you please switch hostesses or switch servers? Give that table somebody else." And the manager granted her request and put another server on that table. And that situation got blown out of control because not only was the hostess or the waitress or whoever it was in trouble, the manager was then put into trouble, and I believe that manager was fired. Now, if you think about this, if you really think about it, what that manager was attempting to diffuse a situation. But that wasn't good enough. Now, you have to realize what I'm saying now is Facebook, Twitter, any social media platform can ban whoever they want because they're like that restaurant owner that has the right as a private owner of that restaurant to block anyone from posting, etc. However, you do have the right to figure out why and press charges against them if you feel like doing that, if you believe you have a strong enough case, and if you believe you have enough financial backing or enough people backing you to press the issue. And by the way, I am blocked on social. There's no one watching now, which is fine with me. I am blocked on social media as well. I can't post on Facebook at the moment because I dared get on. Someone put a post out there talking about women in Arizona. He couldn't get a woman in Arizona, so he's frustrated. So what happened with him is he posted his frustrations. And I got on there and I read one woman who had a post on there, and she said that she is a single mother. It was a big sad scene of violins playing in the background. And I came on to her, and I didn't come on to her. I started chatting with her in this post. And I said, so you mean to tell me that you were completely blinded by the type of man that you were dating at the time? And you were completely blinded, so you decided to just blindly marry him without an idea of who he was? How dumb can you be? And then she went on and she says, well, you know what happened is he was loud and he was not a nice guy. So on and on and on. I said, so you know what? You said you're a responsible person. And she said this. She said she's a very responsible individual. And I said, so you took no responsibility whatsoever to try to take your family, get him help, get yourself and him help to work together to make your family situation better so you, your husband, and your child could live a better life together. You just decided to not be responsible and just get the fuck out of that relationship, right? And then, you know what she did then? Of course, she reported me for that post to Facebook, and Facebook blocked me for that reason because they considered me to be a bully. However, Dr. Laura, that my wife listens to constantly, and I have to put up with it, if Dr. Laura says anything like that, she will get away with it. But she didn't get away with it all the time. Dr. Laura used to be on regular terrestrial radio, and she got reported upon a long time ago. So it used to be a long time ago, that if you didn't like the programming that was on the TV or the radio, if you happened to call into a radio station or a television station, you may get a guy who would have said, there's other networks, there's other channels. If you don't like what this person says, turn it off or turn the channel. We can't do that anymore. If anyone posts on Facebook something that should not be there according to the censors of Facebook or Twitter, you have the individual opportunity to block that person and never see what that person says for the rest of your life. Yet that's not good enough. You've got to get them blocked. You've got to get them censored. You've got to turn America into China. And we are losing our First and Second Amendment rights because you guys are letting it happen. You know, we got to this legislation now. We've got lawyers now. If you turn on TV during the day, you got lawyers all over the place trying to convince you to sue over the most ridiculous crap. And you guys are buying into it. So, you know, when I say this, what I mean to say is, who's responsible for all of these fiascos today? Who's responsible for the loss of America? Who's responsible for the censoring of America, of you? Who's responsible for all of this? You are. The people now who might stumble upon this channel or this discussion, the people responsible for this are you. If you don't believe it, think about this. How long has liberal education been in our schools? A long, long time. Decade upon decade of educating our children has been spent on liberally educating our children. So what has happened to the parents of those children? They succumb to the greed and the competition between themselves and their neighbors to get that BMW for the husband and wife. The child comes home after his liberal education. The parents are tired because they're both working or they don't want to talk to the child. They shove him in the room with a PlayStation and with a cell phone. The kid's playing on the PlayStation. After his liberally educated day, he's on the cell phone talking to his liberally educated friend. And then he goes tomorrow to the next day of classes to his liberally educating teacher who's going to continue that type of education. And that is what happened. So who's responsible for this? You are responsible for this. You looking at the computer screen right now who doesn't like me because I'm one of the people who actually says what's on his mind because I don't have a sponsor to shut me down, although I do have people on Facebook that report me that get me shut down. So you are responsible. I told you I was shut down. I'm shut down 30 days because I dared say to that individual woman that she's irresponsible and she takes no self-responsibility for her actions, her knowledge of the relationship we was getting into, the lack of dedication to getting her husband help along with her to make her family life more stable. She reported me as a bully and I'm blocked. I was blocked 30 days, so I'm blocked 30 days now. I was blocked before that. I was online for 1 day and then I'm blocked now. And I was blocked prior because I dared to say, and by the way, if Saturday Night Live said this or even did a visual parody of this, they would be praised for this. This is what I dared say. Remember Biden hurt his leg or his foot or whatever, playing ball with his dog? You know what I dared say on Facebook? I dared to say this. I said, Joe Biden, instead of playing ball with his dog, he should toss his dog a gun. And perhaps the dog would get off a lucky shot. That's what I said. Now, can you believe, you could just imagine that parody being a video parody on Saturday Night Live, and that parody being applauded, appreciated, probably run in a viral situation. I dared say that, and I dared say it now on YouTube, and there's a possibility that some of you brainheads, brain dead people, will report me for saying that and get me thrown off of YouTube. It's very possible, very likely, highly likely, and it will probably happen. So it is amazing. It is amazing the lack of respect we have for each other. We just want to sue each other till we have no money whatsoever. We want to censor each other. This is becoming a situation that can never be recovered from. I've said this before, and I've had people come on here and try to chat with me and call me a baby boomer and try to cut me apart. And you know what? I am proud to be a baby boomer. And the reason for that is because our generation was one of the last generations that had a degree of success beyond our previous generation. We are probably the last ones. The baby boomers were the last ones that our parents, the generation before us, were successful. We bypassed them. After that, everything went downhill. Everything. Music went downhill. Our movie actors in our movies went downhill. Everything went to crap. Our politics went to crap. The way we treat each other went to crap. Everything has gotten worse since the 70s and the 80s. And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe it because you're of a younger generation that has not experienced the better life that we had in the 70s and the 80s. And obviously you don't know any better, but you should know better and understand how this country is getting more and more controlling of your rights. Before I moved from Delaware, don't blame me for fucking, what do I call him? Prick-elect reject Biden. Don't blame me for him because I lived in Delaware. I know how disrespected he was in Delaware. The only reason he maintained a political career in Delaware is because Delaware is so brainwashed to being liberal that they just kept on making mistake upon mistake upon mistake. They do it in California. Look at what's going on in California. In California, supposedly, I heard a rumor, I don't know if this is true, I didn't validate it, but supposedly if you travel to Los Angeles, you have to stay isolated for 14 days. And you will be checked upon to make sure you are self-quarantined for 14 days. And if you are not self-quarantined for 14 days, you will be arrested. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's a rumor. But it's an interesting thing because I'm in this neighboring state of California. There's no way in hell I'm stepping into California or giving California any of my money. And that comes to another point of today's show. I said this yesterday. What can we individually do to mess up the manipulative Democratic Party and prick-elect reject Biden's presidency? What can we do? You can be sure that if things improve, Joe Biden is going to be out there tooting his horn, just like Hunter Biden toodles his lower extremity when he's watching kiddie porn. This is what he's going to do. He's going to take full credit for the improvement of the economy. Full credit for the improvement of the economy. He's going to do that. So what do individuals like me, what can we do at the most? Most we can do is try to destroy his economy. And that means to me that you're going to see me making no purchases other than the essential purchases I need to survive. In fact, even my hobby, if you see here, remember I have this hobby now of 3D printing. Here's my 3D printer in the background there. I've got a second one over here that's lit up. I've got 2 3D printers. I picked up a hobby. You know what? As soon as my filament runs out, which filament goes through the printer to make our plastic molds and our plastic products and our hobby, as soon as my filament runs out, it's not essential. I don't need to have a hobby. I don't need to have guitar strings, brand new guitar strings for my guitar. I've got strings on it now. I've got the essentials. They play. They may start to become dull, and the music might not be as crisp, but I don't need brand new guitar strings. I don't need a hobby of filament for my 3D printers. I am going to, for the next 4 years, run only on purchasing the essentials I need to live. Other than that, there's going to be no new car in my garage. There's going to be no new big screen TV. There's going to be nothing new whatsoever. Nothing at all. In fact, I'm not even going to go when I used to do the music show and I used to get on iTunes and bands would come on the show and I would go out there and I would buy their music. They'd say, we've got our music, we'll send it to you, Dave. I'd say, you got tunes on iTunes, 99 cents. I'll go out there and I'll buy the tunes because to support you guys. I'm not even going to go on iTunes and buy music for 99 cents because it's non-essential. I don't need it. The shirts that you see now, I got this crazy shirt on where I said that Nancy Pelosi can look at this shirt and probably try to figure out what drink she wants to get stoned on tonight and drink up. And then maybe her husband will drink up because I'm sure that's the only way he's fucking that thing is in a drunken state of confusion, just imagining it's somebody else. And like I said earlier, I can't imagine anyone fucking her, even Hunter Biden, although he wouldn't be interested in that because she's 80 years old and he's not interested in anyone that old. They got to be 70 years younger than she is for him to be interested in her. But you're going to not see any more of these Robert Graham shirts. You're used to seeing me wearing all these watches and rings, which today I forgot to put them on. You're not going to see any more brand new rings or watches because it's non-essential. I'm going to do whatever I can do to personally damage my input to this economy so that I damage the ability for this economy to succeed. If more and more people did that, you know what we should really do is we should all organize and not pay federal and state taxes as a mass conglomerate of the amount of millions of people that don't want Biden in there. The only way you damage people or corporations or like Twitter and Facebook is to drop off of Twitter and drop off of Facebook and leave them high and dry. Supposedly Twitter today lost billions of dollars because of the impact of dropping Trump. So some people are actually taking some degree of action, whether it be temporary or permanent. You see all these boycotts of products that don't last forever. They boycott for a couple days and after that they're buying again. So they damage that company for a short couple days, which they can survive upon. After that, everyone comes back and they're making the same money they made before. The impact of a couple days did not give them any damage. If we could collectively do something to damage the economy of the United States and the Joe Biden success story, which is he's a success nightmare, we might actually get some momentum to say we will not support you, we will not support what's taking place, we are highly against you, and here's how we're proving it, by damaging them in their economy. Now, unfortunately, it's going to take the economy of the small business owners down as well, because some people will say to me, Dave, these small businesses, they're suffering. And here you are, the dick that you are, you're not going to patronize small businesses. They've been hurting all along. You know it. You've seen it on the news. You personally know it because you are a business owner yourself. You know the impact of not supporting them and what it means to them. You're damaging them. You selfish prick. I got to say this. This is what weak America has become. We remember the small business owners, seeing them with their businesses burning down because of Black Lives Matter. I said this on one of my shows. If I was a business owner, amongst other business owners, I would go door to door to those other business owners and say, look, we are being devastated. We've got to do something. We've got to unify. We've got to go out there, and if we have the right to bear arms to protect our business, we've got to do it. We've got to collectively gather to protect our business. What did they all do? They all stood down, let their businesses burn to the ground. They all allowed the lockdowns to take place because of this stupid fake virus. Stupid fake virus because 328 million people live in the United States, of which 380,000 people have died. That is slightly more than 0.1% of the U.S. population has died, of which 70% of those people had pre-existing conditions. So we have allowed lockdowns to take place to shut down our businesses, and the business owners just let it happen. They let it happen. So if you're not a strong business owner taking individual responsibility of the success of your business, don't come looking at me and saying, Dave, you're damaging my business by not shopping in my storefront. What did you do to protect your storefront from everybody that was demolishing your storefront? What respect did you have? What self-respect did you have for your business where now you expect me to respect your business by buying from your business? So you know what? I'm shutting off all my non-essential purchases, which includes those to small businesses, because if you were strong businesses who supported your economy, yourselves, your family, I would respect you enough to say, I'm closing down my purchases from Walmart, Amazon, etc., the big corporations, but I'm going to make sure I doubly patronize your small businesses. I'm not going to do that because you small businesses represented a weak America. That America is now weak partially because of you and partially because of the people watching tonight's show, because you have been weak understanding your children's education, your children's upbringing, and what they are undertaking in their minds and in their souls, in their lack of souls, and in their brainless heads, to be more precise, their liberal education to bring us down to where we are today, which is a lack of respect for each other, a lack of respect for our country, our lack of respect for previous generations that died to make America better. They died. And to bring up that part about dying for America, the wall, we are in jeopardy now of our wall coming down. The wall that Trump built to keep our borders safe, to keep Americans safe from people coming in that should not be here. I said this before, and people don't like this at all either. That's why people don't watch my show. If you think about it, aliens that have come here illegally. Americans have fought for this country, and they have died for this country, and they have protected us in this country, our freedoms, our liberties. They have protected us upon the deaths of themselves and the impact that made to their families by them now being no longer with their families because they surrendered their life willingly to protect us. People coming here illegally, they are leaving their countries because of human rights violations, of poverty, of suffering. However, they're coming here to grab that instant shortcut to make things better in their lives. They are coming here to escape the abilities that they have in their country to fight and make things better. They want the quick escape route to solve their immediate selfish problem by coming here illegally to make their individual personal lives better, when everyone else back there, basically they're saying, fuck you, stay there, be the idiots of staying there. I'm in America now. I'm in America. I made my life better. Personally, I made my selfish life better, but all you guys there, I'm not going to come back there and fight to make your country better, which is my country. I'm in America now. You guys are over there. Fuck you guys. You live like this. Serves you right. You know, this is what's going on. I consider people that have come to the United States illegally, escaping their country for the quick escape, the quick solution to their damaged lives without fighting to make their country, their lives, their families' lives, their friends' lives, their generations following them's lives, their ancestors' lives more memorable because they're there making their country better. They came here as cowards. They came here as cowards and as selfish people escaping their responsibilities to make their country better. They came here They came here selfishly as cowards without staying in their country, coming here where we made our country better on the backbone of people that have surrendered their lives to make America's lives better. And you come over here without doing the work, without the efforts to making your lives better. You took this quick, cowardly escape route out of your country. That's what I got to say about that. How do you like that? No one likes to hear that. No one likes it because no one says it, because they're all too chicken to say it, which includes the GOP, which is a body of people that have no fucking balls. Caitlyn Jenner, who still got her balls, has more balls than they do. If she cuts them off, maybe if she cuts off her balls, maybe someone in the GOP will buy them off of eBay and stick the balls on them and make themselves have more balls than they've currently got. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe Caitlyn Jenner can donate her balls to the GOP. It's got to be we should call them GOP. We should come up with a name for them. Guys, I was going to say, guys, I'll think of something later. I already thought of the best thing for Biden, right? Prick-elect, reject Biden. I think that's a perfect name for him. Let's see. Good to see Brian Anderson is the only. Well, there's 4 other people watching. It's a record for me. You know, I wish all you guys. I see 5 likes. I see 6 likes. I hope you guys attempt to share this show, because I can't share it. I can't get on Facebook and share it because I'm blocked from Facebook. And I told you guys the reasons why I'm blocked on Facebook: for being called a bully, for calling a woman out on taking no responsibility for her family life. She says that she got married to an idiot, and I said to her, didn't you realize that? How brain dead could you be to be with somebody, get married to him, when you had every responsibility to understand who he was before you were stupid enough to then put that wedding ring on your finger and get married? And Dr. Laura says this all the time to all of her callers, yet she calls me out as a bully by reporting me, and Facebook says, yeah, Dave, you're a bully. Unbelievable the way social media has gotten today. You know, what else was I going to talk about today? I don't really feel like talking about a lot of stuff today because I'm frustrated enough. Good to see John here. John, what's going on? Good to see you. You just got on here. You missed some of the points I made when I started the show off. I started talking about the shirt I'm wearing. You can see that it has a bunch of it's got a bunch of drinks on it, and how to make the drinks, how to make each of these cocktails. And I said, I'm wearing this shirt tonight just in case Nancy Pelosi is watching my show with an attempt to get me blocked off of Facebook. So if she's watching the show, I've got this shirt with drinks on it. So she'll be able to pick a drink off the shirt, make it so she can get stoned out of her mind tonight. And I don't know if she's married or not, but I'm assuming the only way she gets a cocktail, basically a cock, is to get her husband drunk out of his fucking mind to screw that thing. And I also said I also described Hunter Biden as someone who wouldn't fuck Nancy Pelosi, not only because he's not interested in her, but because she's 70 years too old for him, because he's only with the 10-year-olds now. There we go. There's my hostility. I said it funnier earlier, John. You missed it. It was funnier earlier. Now I'm all upset about what I was talking about earlier. So I'm not in a comic mood right now. What else was I going to talk about? I already talked about some stuff John missed, which is too bad. I was talking about Facebook and Twitter, and I talked about, remember MySpace? MySpace used to be the rock and roll place for music. And then suddenly it lost its popularity. Pretty much the Facebook substituted MySpace and took over. We got to find another platform to get off of Facebook and move to. However, if you think about this, some people want to leave the state that they're in. A lot of people want to leave Arizona when Arizona went to Biden. A lot of people wanted to say, I want to get the fuck out of Arizona because it went in a direction I never thought it would ever change to being a Democratic electing state. They want to leave. But if you think about that, if you leave, you're giving Arizona the stronghold of maintaining its status of a Democratic voting state for elections to follow. So pretty much you can't leave because you want to try to influence your state to flip back in the other direction if at all possible. So if you leave Facebook, you're leaving them with an ability to just be an institution of people that all agree in one perspective. However, if enough bulk of us leave, we will damage them financially, which seems to be rather more important now than the people remaining there to make it a single source of information. I think it's more important to just get off of that platform and devastate them, which I think today I heard that Twitter was devastated today, and I think they lost a lot of money today in sort of the billions, I think, from what I heard. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard as a rumor. So I don't know. I don't think I have a whole lot more to talk about except to say that I think we are. John says, "Where's Terry?" Terry hasn't been on the show for a long time. I don't know. I don't know where she is. I don't know how she's been, and I don't know. I think that's all I've got for tonight, except to say individually, like I said before, in case John missed it, what I intend to do is the way we damage companies like Twitter by a lot of people leaving Twitter, I believe, today and financially devastating them, at least for one day. The way we devastate companies, the way we devastate people, you see all these boycotts all the time of products from people that say something that people don't like, and then they call up the station of the radio personality who's on that station. They say, we're not going to buy that sponsor's product because we don't like Don Imus. It happened to him. It happened to, what was I talking about earlier? Happened to Nancy, I don't know. It happens to people. But what I said is I intend to boycott my economy by putting a stop to everything that's non-essential in my life going forward. There will be no new big screen TVs. That big screen TV staying in my home here, it's adequate. I don't need a better one with a clearer picture. My 3D printers, I was going to buy a third one, actually. I was going to buy another 3D printer. I don't need it. It's not essential. I'm not buying it. In fact, these things are my hobby. When the filament runs out, which is the filament to print plastic on these machines, it's a hobby. It means it's not essential. That means as soon as my filament runs out, this hobby is done until 4 years from now when we get another Republican president, which is doubtful at the moment. These things will be shut down for 4 years or beyond. My guitar, I've got 8 guitars, which is too many to have. It's stupid, but I've got strings on them. Those strings are going to stay on there because do I need new strings? Perhaps I will, because your fingers get rusty if you don't dry out the strings. The strings will get rusty. They'll sound worse. They'll break potentially. I've got strings on them now to buy extra new strings for them. It's not essential. I don't play the guitar to earn money. It means it's a hobby. It's not essential. There will be no new strings on my guitar. I intend to, actually, it's funny, there's someone who watches my show here, but doesn't participate in my YouTube channel because she refuses to get a Gmail account, which is Google. And Google now is part of the enemy of conservatives by all the conservative media outlets and social media blocking all of us conservatives. I'm going to move off of right now I've got davedarren@gmail.com. I'm going to move off of that. Now, I could move to Hotmail, but isn't Hotmail our enemy as well? They're part of Microsoft. Isn't Bill Gates our enemy because of his attempts to mandate vaccines upon us, which I don't intend to get a vaccine? Because if you really think about it, the short amount of time we've had this vaccine, how sure are we that there won't be any side effects 2 years from now, where all of our dicks will fall off and we'll end up being the lame GOP people who do nothing because they've got no dicks on their bodies? We're going to become like that potentially if I take the vaccine. I'm not going to do it. I'm not taking that vaccine at all, period. So we got Gates out there, so I don't intend to want to have a Hotmail account or an Outlook account because it's associated with an entity that I want to boycott, which happens to be Microsoft. Unfortunately, I'm talking to you tonight on an Apple computer. First of all, there will be no new Apple computers in my home. There will be no new Apple laptop in my home because it's not essential. I've got this to reach out to you guys, and unfortunately, I've got to have some means of communication, and it is this. I happen to own an iPhone. In fact, my iPhone, the battery's been getting a little weak. I intend to get off the iPhone because it's an Apple product. My next phone, I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm not going to get a Samsung because it's a Korean phone. And sort of, I want to boycott the Chinese and the Koreans, and I want to buy American. What phone can I buy that's American? If I open it up, it's probably got components in it that are from China and are from Korea. We are totally fucked to the ability to stick with Buy American, Hire American, which used to be Dr. James Corey in Philadelphia that did a fitness show. He used to get on there, Buy American, Hire American. That's what we should really be doing. And Trump was right. America first. We got to keep America first. Right now, the Democrats are putting the communists first. And they're putting themselves first by stuffing their pockets with communist China money because they're not putting America first. They're putting themselves first, the Chinese second, and America, we're not even in the top 10. I don't even know where we are. I don't even think we're in the top 20 concerned for Democrats. Did you notice today, by the way, the price of gas over the last couple of days has gone up because of Biden in office? It's gone up because before there was a little tiny sliver of hope that he would be able to maintain control. And that sliver of hope is gone away. And we are going to lose our First Amendment. Didn't we see it? We lost it the last couple of days, right? We lost our First Amendment. And we're going to lose, or potentially there's going to be attempts to lose our Second Amendment. It's a mess. It's a nightmare. It's happened because of you watching today's show, because you've accepted it. You've allowed it to happen. You've been closed-eyed on it. You've let your children be liberally educated by shutting your eyes to their educational platform, neglecting to get an understanding of what they're studying, what they're learning, locking them in their rooms with their PlayStations and their cell phones so they can call up their friends who are all liberally educated as well. So they've got 24 hours of liberal mindset in their heads, which developed them to be who they are today, the people who are brainwashed to purchase the Joe Biden product, the Joe Biden pathetic product, which I call the prick-elect reject Biden. That's his nickname from me. Let's see, what is, there are other email options, and there are. I think there's one. I'm going to take a look and see who's available for other email products. And I'm going to move off of Hotmail, because I use that for business. And I'm going to move off of Gmail as well, and I'm going to find something else. I think there's one. I'll take a look and I'll see what's available. You know what? And I got to say this too. I got to say this. If you really think about it, I kind of respect the communists more than I respect America and our democracy, because we are weak. Communists and Democrats, at least they're strong. You got to respect their strength. They are strong. They are deviant, and they are directed, and they are powerful, and they are strong, strong-minded, strong-willed. We are not. Americans are weak. The GOP are weak. They surrendered. They gave up. Some of your neighbors, some of your family members are weak and have given up. My own brother, who's a liberal, is weak and he's given up. And I've given up on him. How am I ever going to have a Christmas with my brother when I know he wants the liberal democracy, the liberal communist situation is going on in this country? He's satisfied with that. He wants it. And I don't want to be part of America that is that directed. I don't want to be part of his life any longer. It's done. I don't call him on the phone. I didn't wish him a happy Christmas or a happy New Year. It's done. Finished. I have no interest. Thank God my parents are conservatives, so at least I can talk to them. But beyond that, I cannot talk to my next door neighbor. I don't even attempt to, because I don't even know who they are. I don't know if they're supporters of Biden or Trump. All I know is if they wear a mask, even if they're Trump supporters and they're wearing a mask, they're idiots. So I don't talk to idiots. So no matter who they voted for, I could be avoiding people that are true, strong Trump supporters. But if they've got that mask on, to me, that means that they're manipulated already. They're diseased already. They're weak already. So I don't talk to them. I think I told you guys that, I think John knows and Brian knows, I've got this really cool dog, this Belgian Shepherd. and I'm out there like at coffee shops, and people come up to me and they want to ask me questions about our dog. And as soon as they walk up with a mask, I say to them, and I insult them right off the bat, I'm sorry, I don't talk to people that are wearing masks. And the look on their faces is like, how dare you? You are mandated to talk to me because I talk to you. It is my right to have you talk to me. That's the kind of look I get from them. Like, how dare you? How dare you come at me with a mask? If you hear people complaining about people that don't wear a mask, you know what? So you want to wear a mask, and you want me to wear a mask. That's your mask, and that's my mask. If you're frustrated I don't have a mask on, then you know what? Double up on your mask. Wear your mask plus wear my mask. You're doubly protected, as you would be, as doubly protected by you wearing one and me wearing one. Double up on your fucking mask. If you feel that threatened by me, then double up. You wear 2 masks, and I'm going to wear 0 masks. That's the way I see it. That's the way I conduct my life. John says Trump is speaking tomorrow. You know what? We got one person there with balls in the GOP. One person. And by the way, if I was president, and if there was a riot and a bunch of people, I don't know much about this. I didn't watch it on TV. I don't watch the news broadcast to see if they're Antifa and Black Lives Matter that caused all this commotion and riot and breaking in, so Nancy Pelosi couldn't get her bottle of whiskey from her desk drawer, so she was pissed off because she couldn't get stoned out of her mind because people are breaking into her office and interrupting her drunken state of mind, so that's pissed her off. But no matter who broke it, no matter what happened, if I was president and if it happened, you know what? They're upset, they're frustrated, they're angry. I'm not going to control it. Go for it. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm sick and tired of us being peaceful, while everyone around us who's opposite of the conservative point of view, they can go out there and they burn shit up and they get away with it. We do the same thing in a very small period of time, in a moment of instant frustration, and if we do it, we're terrorists. But if they do it, they're forgiven. In fact, the police have to step down. The police not only have to step down, they have to be on their knees to be submissive to terrorists. White people have to get on their knees because they have to honor the black people, the black population. Black Lives Matter. By the way, in all reality, having worked in Trenton, New Jersey, and you go through the neighborhoods in Trenton, and I said it earlier, I said, the people that are coming here from other countries illegally, they're abandoning their country and their responsibility to make their country better. They came here for the quick fix. I call them traitors. I didn't use that word. I might as well throw that one in there. Traitors to their country by not fighting to make their country better when we fought and died to make this country better. They're traitors. They are cowards because they've left their responsibility in their own country to take the shortcut into America. This is what I got to say, too, about people, for instance, in Trenton. If you want to make your lives better, you cannot take a shortcut. Seems like Black Lives Matter wants to bring up they want to make their frustrations known to everybody, and they want a quick fix. There are no quick fixes in life at all. If you want to make your lives better, I'm driving around in Trenton, New Jersey after work. I see all the trash in the street in front of people's homes. And I see people in front of their homes. I said this before. People in front of their homes in Trenton, New Jersey. They're sitting on their steps. A girl with a big shaped Kardashian ass. It looks like there's looks like the kitchen sink is in that ass. It looks like that ass should be made of porcelain. That's what that ass looks like. That big round ass looks like a porcelain ass. It's a Kardashian. You never understand why it's the Kardashians got that last name. It's car-shaped asses, Kardashian. That's how they came up with that name, in case you didn't know it. They're sitting out there on their step trying to meet that woman so that they can go horizontal with them in bed, make them pregnant. The pregnant woman goes home. Guy takes no responsibility for that. His responsibility is to get laid tomorrow night with a different woman. Woman goes home. She has the baby. She's a single parent, and she's going to complain about being a single parent because she was an idiot. And she's going to put that burden and that responsibility on us, to raise that child via our taxes. And if you want to make your lives better, you got to start from the ground up. Clean up your fucking street, make your property look better, make the neighborhood look better. Your property values will go up, your lives will improve, and you got to start from that level. It's people that want a quick fix. There are no quick fixes. If you want a quick fix, you got the party in place now to create your quick fix. You got the Democrats who are willing to give you, and you're entitled and you want to take. It's a perfect match. That's why we've got this dick-elect Biden in office. He's willing to give. You got people wanting to take, and that's why you're going to have a failure of this country. That's all that I've got for tonight. See ya.